Welcome to Billy Review Stuff, where I review stuff. Today I'm looking at the Super 7 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Godzilla King of Monsters, Thirsty for Blood Godzilla. This is based off the art from Art Adams from the line of comics back in, oh god, is it 90s? I think it's not, I'm friggin' old, but I couldn't pass on it. It was the same price as buying the regular Godzilla, and I wanted that Godzilla to be great, and it did not turn out to be great other than the sculpting. So I'm hoping that this one is, even though in theory it would have came here at the same time the regular release came. But let's flip this box around so we can take a look at the back. It's an eyeball. Ooh-wee. Box is really nice looking. Come on. There we go. Boom. One Godzilla box. That's pretty good slipcover. After being hit with a poison dart, Godzilla is driven into a bloody rage and ravages the west coast of North America for months. Teams from across the globe try and fail at subduing the monster. He did this for months, and it is 1995. Bingo. So let's see what we got here. Oh, well, we have a Godzilla, alternate head, alternate hands, and a little scared artist, which is supposed to be Art Adams, which is fantastic. I like that little joke there. That's wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and get him out of the box, and then we're going to fiddle around with him and see if he's good or suck. So I got it out of the package. That was its own ordeal. Man, these hands were just like stuck in there. But I got him out, got him put together. Thankfully, he was on top of my mailbox in the Mississippi summer, so he was in about 100 degrees, so he's nice and loosened up from the heat, so like all the ball joints and hinges and everything are freed up, so I can move him around and fiddle with him. First thing I've noticed, this thing looks way better than the standard release. It's not a glossy mess. There's actually like a matte finish on him. There's a noticeable wash. We'll go into that closer in a second. We're gonna go over accessories first. So you have a tiny, itty bitty, little bitty Art Focus Adams Screaming in Fear. That's wonderful. It's always good to terrify artists. It's wonderful, and just immortalize them as a little tiny figure that will fly out of the package and never be seen again. But it's wonderful. The next thing that I noticed, which was awesome, in fact, was with the heads. So if you can tell here, if I could, have light and do things right, it'd be nice. All the spines on top of his head are actually painted this time. On the regular version, it had where it like stopped about halfway there, and it looked like it was like a receding Godzilla hairline, which is sad. Then on his teeth are well painted. There's actually a couple different things going on here. It's got the base for the blood on there, and then it has where his gums were painted a lighter shade of red, and then his teeth were painted, and they don't look like a bunch of scrambled eggs in there, which is amazing to me. So this is a win on the paint job there, and you could tell. Like, my lights are kind of harsh here, but this is not as glossy looking and terrible as that first one was. And his eyes don't look like garbage. His eyes look very good too. They are well done. They're perfect on there. They're perfect. I don't know how, because like this had to hit the shore the same time that the Ultimates Godzilla, or better yet, maybe Super 7 actually had where these were like air-mailed over something direct for this first batch of San Diego Comic-Con figures, so they got here. So maybe this will be like a running change or something with all the other Godzillas. Well, with the regular Godzilla where he looks a bit better. With the hands, all the paint on them are well done as well. It has where it has like the base color. There's a wash to it, and it seems to be like a little bit of dry brushing on there as well. It's very well done, amazingly. I don't get how they just the first one exists and then this one exists, and this one is light years better. It's insane. He also has fists. They're wonderful. Little 4-fingered fist. Very small peg on there. So far, I didn't have any issues pulling them in and out and changing them. There weren't any big issues. They were easy to. Boom. Now he's got a fist for punching stuff, buildings, other monsters. It's wonderful. The next thing I noticed on him that I saw some people having issues with the first Godzilla, and even some reviews on this one. So his tail. His tail has where it can get up pretty high. It's still going to go down some. It's not double balled. It has where each segment in here has a ball peg on the end of it that goes into the next segment, so on and so forth. And I was like, okay, let me see that. Let me see how that works. And I pulled it apart. Each one of these ball pegs has where it has a bit of lube on there to have where it can move around easier in there. And I think that might be part of the issue with the first one, where it wasn't lubed up on the tail. Because like I can get this tail down flat-ish. I still have it. Let me tilt you forward some. Oh Godzilla, you card. But yeah, the tail can basically go flat, or I can get it arced up. Not quite an S, but like it's there. But then again, this has where it's lubed up. So if I took some of that lube out, or took it off and just like dried it off some, it might have where like it can get about right there with that. But then also I noticed, I saw some people having where it's like, oh, there's a huge gap right here. Well, this has where it recesses in twice. Like, I don't know if it was something that was like planned, where it could like, get light in there. Because you can kind of see where it has that lip inside there. So the ball can go in and kind of hit that first. You can get a little bit more left and right that way, but it'll have where it's hanging out. I guess that'd be more for like a shelf present, or just because like that's 1 and then 2, then it's in there. I could pop it out to 1 and get a little bit more left and right, and then pop it in there, and it's straight on. So, I mean, it's your toy. Figure out how you want to display him or anything. But I mean, like, you can get him going, I guess, more like that. Kind of arrange the tail segment so that lines up there. It might look kind of from one angle if you do that. But if you're doing photography or something like that, it could work out. But I'm going to pop the tail off now just to get to, like, articulation. Articulation, I mean, like, it's just like the other one. I think it's honestly fair for Godzilla, because it moves like a guy in a suit, you know? It moves like a guy in a suit with animatronics. But, like, the head, you're not going to get super far down with this. His head itself can look pretty far down. You can get that brooding pose. You can get that sneer there. You can, if you have to fiddle with the tail some more, but you can get that roar there. He has, you know, regular hinges on his shoulders, and go all the way around. He has biceps, which is super cool. A 90, and then, you know, normal wrist articulation, hinge left and right, matches on the same side over there. He still does have like a hard plastic torso, and then down here it has where it's a hard plastic pelvis covered in a rubber. So I kind of wish that's how the upper piece was here, but I mean, like, I'm kind of skeptical on some things that have where they're made covered in rubber, because I know some older Clayface figures that had where it was at least with where they were bendy, they didn't last, and that kind of, you know, freaks me out some there. But I kind of was, it has where this is like, if it had, I kind of want to pull it apart, but then I kind of, you don't, but I kind of think if it is in there, it does have where it's on a ball, but like, because I can get it forward a little bit like that. Obviously, I'm not going to get like a super ab crunch out of Godzilla, but it might be, but it's really limited. Ball socket hips, so I can get him into a sitting Godzilla pose with no tail. That's what everybody wants. I know. Knees bend, not great to the back, pretty okay to the front. Then you have a Godzilla standing in a coffee line. You know, that's always fun. Hinges are okay. It's good enough to have where you can have your Godzilla in walking poses, or have him like flipped around into like an action pose. So he's just like legs spread, one knee bent, roaring kind of stuff. It works out. It works out. But let me see if I can get my lights on him just right so you can get a good look at that paint on there. I don't want to say, oh no, it doesn't do it justice. But turn that down. Focus in on that crotch. Wonderful. But maybe it's easier to tell that like it has where it's that one solid color, original like color it's supposed to be. It has the wash on there, and then it's kind of hard to tell, but it's like a little bit of like dry brushing on there. It works out. I think this looks way better than the standard release by far. If you can get this for this price, and you are super into Godzilla, and you're willing to give Super 7 a chance, I think it's worth it for this Godzilla. All the other ones coming, I'm going to be skeptical on until I see them in hand. I'm still going to try to get Destroya, still going to try to get Mechagodzilla, still going to try to get all the other monsters that have where they just don't pop up anywhere else. Like I need like the Meltdown 1200 degree, was it 1200 degree Godzilla, because that one does look fantastic. And if they could have a matte finish like this one does, it'll be worth it just to have that figure because it's not anywhere else. Oh, and I almost forgot. It's super easy to swap the heads too. You know, pop, boop, bingo. Yeah, but I'm gonna give. Oh, I'm still not pre-ordering the shit from Super 7 Direct. It'll be through Big Bad Toy Store, and it will be after I see someone who reviews it and like gives it a little shot there. I saw pictures of these. They look good, and it does look good. Like this is a great comic book Godzilla. And I had that itch, and I scratched it, and you know what? It feels good. It feels good. I love the sculpt. The sculpt's by Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen toy design. Four Horsemen Studios. The sculpt looks wonderful. The wash on there is what really brings out that sculpt, and that's what really makes this look good to me. It's all the detail in it. I know some people were like, oh, the neck's a little narrow on there. I'm okay with it in person. In pictures, it was kind of like, a little iffy. I don't think it looks odd or bad in person. Yeah, sure, I do wish there was a head with a hinge, but like I kind of like how there's no hinge here, and it could just be like that. It looks smoother that way. I'll give it that. And overall, yeah, if you can get it for cost, or if you can get it for less, just saying, I'm a cheapskate. You can get it for less. Pick him up. He doesn't suck. This one is the good one. So, this has been Billy Beige. I'll see you next time. Please like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll see you in the next review of some random crap I buy online.